Johanna will be doing the opening of the Feast of Tabernacles in King James Castle. Finally, the truth about King James, a black man who helped to preserve and safeguard the Bible. Live September 29th, 2023, Commanding General Johanna, live at King James Castle in Scotland. Come on down and support the ISUPK UK. Lift the glass, come and join the brotherhood and drink with the ancient as we celebrate and keep the Feast of Tabernacles for our King Yahushua in King James Castle, bringing his crew of heavy hitters. Commanding General.
Shalom, Israel. I am priest and officer of 500 Kasiyad of ISUPK Atlanta. Start out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General Johanna. Today, I'm going to be holding it down for a moment until Officer of 500 Barak Yalla comes in to take over the class. We are not affiliated with any other Hebrew Israelite group. No one. We don't associate ourselves to any group, especially not those purple pigs. So before we get started today, if anyone has any questions, type it in the chat on YouTube and or on Facebook. Do we have anyone on the call at the moment? All right, we don't have anybody on the call. Just a moment here. All right.
Shalom, Adawan, Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shabbat.
Shalom, Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shabbat. What's going on, warrior?
I'm Tawab, sir. How about yourself?
Hey, I'm Tawab. Excellent to hear from you.
Likewise, sir.
Excellent. I'm going to be holding it down briefly until Officer Barak Yalla gets here. He's got a heavy topic to bring out, discussing how we compromise ourselves for the flag, for the LGBT flag. So that ought to be a heavy topic because myself, I am so tired of the LGBT movement, LGBTQ, all the alphabet people, all the transgender, queer, cisgender, whatever you want to call it. I'm absolutely sick and tired of hearing all of it. In my mind, I think for the Most High, go ahead and just send the missiles. Send them now and blow this mother up. Blow it up. I'm tired of all the wickedness that we are seeing every single day, but especially when it comes to these homosexuals, or if I can say that, you can't. You have to be politically correct with everything so that they don't flag you or remove you from YouTube and or Facebook. But here in the ISUPK, we're going to tell you the truth. At one point, you could say gay, but you can't say gay. At one point, you could say homosexual. You can't say homosexual. Now, obviously, you can't say bundle of sticks. And we know what a bundle of sticks is. They use the word faggot for a bundle of sticks. They also use that same word to describe boy lovers, boy on boy. I guess as far as the women are concerned, they're lesbians, or for lack of better words, they use the word dyke. There's all type of terms that they have for them, but they want to make sure that you don't offend any of them. They want to make sure that you move the way they move, that you think the way they think. It's almost as though they want to force you into accepting the way they move, accepting their lifestyle, which us here in the ISUPK, we will not. We understand what the scripture says about homosexuality. We understand what the scripture says when it's talking about fornication, all these unnatural, doing these things which are unnatural. Do we have anyone on the call? Shalom. Hey, what's going on, Aki Tuwab? I'm Tawab, just holding it down for Officer Barak Yalla until he gets here. Like I said, he's got a heavy topic going down tonight. Indeed, he's got a heavy topic going down tonight, which I'm sure he's going to get into busting the head of these LGBTQ, LMNO, PQRS, TUV people would actually, if they want to be any part of the alphabet, what you should call it is HIV. That part of the alphabet is what they should be. Or AIDS, AIDS. That's what they. That's the part of the alphabet. Yeah, that's the alphabet that they should equate themselves to, because the only alphabet, and I'm gonna have to say this, I believe it was Officer 1000 Nakashiwan who coined this phrase, that the only alphabet that we associate ourselves to here in the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge is ISUPK.
Come.
Those are the alphabets that we subscribe to. ISUPK, Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Not lesbian, queer, transgender, gay, bi, cisgender, object, gender, whatever. Because now, you can whatever it is that you want to, what is the word that I'm looking for? That you want to say that you are, that you identify as, you can do that. So there was a woman who several months ago, I shared this. She said she's objective gender, or some ish like that, where she called herself an airplane. Like, she literally called herself an airplane. She can't fly. She didn't have an engine or wings, but that's what she called herself. That's what she identifies as. And that's the oppressor for you. Now, the reason why I think this topic is heavy is because social media is being drowned with this hideous, most disgusting abomination of sexual activity that your oppressor started. It's drowning social media with it. Well, my topic, I'm going to go ahead and plug it now, for next Wednesday, I'm going to go into who did it first. And when I say who did it first, I'm going to be discussing transgenderism. I'm going to be discussing cisgender, whatever genders they are, because they're claiming they're like 76 genders. We know what the scripture said. We know that the Most High made male and female.
Right.
But when you look at your oppressor, because he thinks himself to be God, he's going to add multiple genders. We know that if you want to look at just science, which that science that is made up in our body, the chemical makeup of our body, the physical makeup of our body, the Most High is the architect of all that. So when you look at science, you can't think about science without thinking about the Most High. So if you want to look at it objectively, because these people, they claim to be so smart, which they aren't. Well, let's look at it as far as science is concerned. In the man, you have 2 chromosomes, an X and a Y. In the woman, you have 2 chromosomes, 2 X's. So to determine whether or not you're a boy or a girl, male or female, all they have to do is look at your chromosomes. But they don't even have to do that. They can look at you sexually and see your organs and say, okay, this right here is a male, this right here is a female. They have been doing that since the beginning of time. But because your oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of, because your oppressor thinks that he knows all, is all, he decided, I'm going to add more genders. Why? To cause more confusion, to cause more chaos.
Right.
So now when you go to these high schools or these colleges, especially these colleges where they indoctrinate you, where once you go in there, they want you to be a free spirit. When you come into a lot of these colleges, they want you to be open to different realms of understanding. So what they'll then do is teach you a different type of science. They'll say, well, you actually can have 2 sexes in one body. Now, what you're looking at then when you see that is being called a hermaphrodite, when they have both reproductive organs. Now, understanding then that is an anomaly. That is not something that happens all the time. The percentage of that in the world is very low. Now, understanding this, they want to take that type of science and add it to the fact that they may say, well, if there was a God who created everything and didn't make mistakes, then why would there be people born with 2 genitals? Well, the same reason why people may be born with 1 arm. Does that make it off now all of a sudden? It's a birth defect, is what it is.
Right.
But they want to take those things and they want to turn it into something beyond what it is. They want to use that part of the science and say, okay, you can be a boy if you're a girl, you can be a girl if you're a boy. You actually have classes in college that discuss sex of boy and girls. It's an actual discussion, a class, a profession, if you will, that they talk about in colleges. So you mean to tell me people are going and paying $50,000 and $60,000 a year to go to some of these colleges to discuss whether or not you're a boy or a girl? Think about what I just said. You have people going to college, having classes discussing whether or not you're a boy or a girl. Now, I understood that I was a boy not too long after I was born. And I say not too long after I was born, I may have been, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, who knows? It wasn't that I was saying to myself, oh, I know I'm a boy and that's the girl. You just know what you are. But what the world or the oppressor wants you to do now is say, well, let it be the child's choice. They want it to be where at birth, you don't assign a gender at birth. It needs to be the child's decision. So as they get older, they can say, well, I don't identify as a girl when they're a boy, or I don't identify as a boy when I'm a girl. You see the confusion in that? You see what they're trying to do? How does that, as a matter of fact, with the brothers on the phone, how does that make you feel? What does that make you think about?
Salaki, I don't want.
Go ahead, Warrior.
Can you repeat the question?
Basically, what I'm saying is that your oppressor is setting it up now where when a child is born, they're pushing this agenda to where when the child is born, not to put what his or her sex is, meaning to leave it open. Meaning if you do that, you're taking the right away from the child. That's
Right.
what they're saying. You're taking the right away from the child by giving it a gender. So although you see, hey, this is a boy because he has a penis, or this is a girl because she has a vagina, now you have to overlook that and just leave the sex blank. That's your oppressor. So what does that make you think about our oppressor and where we're headed?
Come, sir. You know that's good. That ties in with them not having to disclose. You know whether if they've had surgery or not. So just think. Look at this. You got a 21-year-old son. And he meets somebody. And he bring home. So-called somebody who he think is a woman. Good night.
Right. Come on now.
It's just
exactly.
It's a disaster just waiting to happen. It's just pure evil. I yield.
Absolutely, it's evil. It's absolute wickedness. That's why it is very important, brothers and sisters, to my brothers out here who are coming into this truth, that are in this truth, to take your time when you are seeking a rib. Take
Right.
your time, ask the questions, talk to them, find out who they are,
Right.
figure out what they've done in their life. Make sure that you're not dealing with someone who went through a surgery at 12, 13 years old and now have been walking around taking hormones to where you don't know whether or not it's a male or female until they pull their pants down. You have to ask the questions. You have to be careful out here in these streets, especially here in Atlanta. You have to be careful because it's a wicked place out here. I'm trying to tell you. The wicked. Go ahead, Warwick.
I couldn't hardly hear what Abishai said, so Salaki if I say the same thing that he just said. But that's heavy because the protocol in ISUP kids is 6 months. You did another 6 months thing. It's like the Lord forcing that protocol on the real period. You know what I'm saying? And that just gonna cut back on. I just, you know what I'm saying, just finding out if it's a man or a woman, you think that, it cut back on all the authority and everything. So it's like that you actually got to get to know this person. You know what I'm saying?
Right. What you just said was heavy out, because when you say that about The Most High is like he's forcing the protocol. I mean, think about that. It's to the point right now where when you go out, you better ask the questions. You might say, look, I need to see some childhood pictures. I need to meet some family members. I need to see some social security numbers or something.
Right.
So that I know who you are. I need you to prove to me who you are. Now, of course, that's why it's important. I'm not going out there just running up on anything. So I'm not even worried about those things. You got to have rod control. All this stuff ties in together, because I can promise you, you do not want to end up at your house, because that shouldn't be the case anyway, with a strange, what you think to be a woman, and it's a goddamn sodomite, and you got them at your house. They're dressed up like a woman, look like a woman, but have the parts of a man, so they are a man, and then they made it back to your house. Oh, let me tell you something. That's a bad look.
Yeah.
Because somebody gonna die.
That's right.
Somebody gonna die. But your oppressor, you see, your oppressor likes that type of stuff because he's been a pervert from the beginning. He's been sexually immoral from the beginning. But if you would, young man Abishai, pull up something for me here. Pull up Mark 10:6.
Come, sir.
In just a moment here, we're going to be bringing in Officer Brock Yalla to take over his class. But until then, if you would, just bring that verse out for me.
Come, sir. The book of Mark, chapter 10 and verse 6.
Go ahead.
But from the beginning of the creation, God made them male and female.
Now, Mark 10:6, for those of you who may not have heard what the brother just read, it says here, but from the beginning of the creation, God made them male and female. God made them male and female. He didn't say I made them half male, half female, half dog, half donkey. He didn't say no crazy ish like that. Male and female. That is from the beginning. But from the beginning of the creation, God made them male and female. Those are two genders. That's it.
That's right.
So where are you getting 76 genders from? Your oppressor is a goddamn liar. And guess what? You got brothers and sisters of Israel out there supporting this garbage. You know who the hell you are. You know who you've been your whole life. As a child playing in the streets, running around with your buddies, falling and scraping up your knee. You knew you were a boy.
Right.
You were a girl out there playing with Barbie dolls, doing whatever it was, painting your fingernails. You knew you were a girl.
Right.
But then all of a sudden you started hearing this garbage about, well, maybe you're not. You need to choose what you want to be. It used to be the question that they would ask kids when they were coming up. They would say to them, well, what do you want to be when you grow up? And they would say astronaut, police officer, president, firefighter. That's what they would say. But now you ask a kid, well, what do you want to be when you grow up? If it's a little boy, he might say, well, I want to be a girl. I want to be a woman. And if it's a girl, she may say, well, I want to be a man. That's the question that they're asking now. And those are the responses you're getting. It's no longer, I want to go to college and I want to be this right here or that right there. No, they're talking about what sex they want to be. They're telling you that it's okay to choose to be a boy or girl if you're the opposite of that. That's what they're teaching us now. And I can tell you this, I don't have any children, but if I ever have children, they won't be taught by the system that this country is teaching. I can promise you that. My children will know exactly who they are, Most High in Christ. That's why I think go ahead, Warrior.
No, so like you good.
Got my Paul checking in.
Yeah, about Shemar. What's going on, Aki Tawab? Excellent. Good to hear from you. Good to hear from you. And for those who are just calling in, just to reiterate, I'm just holding it down until Officer Brock Yalla steps in. It's a heavy topic for y'all tonight. But like I said, until then, we're gonna keep it rocking. Like I said, what young man Abishai just brought out in the book of Mark, chapter 10, verse 6. But from the beginning of the creation, God made them male and female. That right there is all you need to know. He made them male and female. But guess what? The Christian church is starting to side with these different ideologies, these different thought processes. They'll say, well, you have to meet them where they are. We can't take from them who they believe they are and how they feel. You ready to rock and roll out of want? Just a second here. Salakia. To those on the phone, I'm going to be giving it over to Officer Barakiala.
Shalom, Lord Christ.
Shalom, Adawan Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shabbat.
Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shabbat. Wednesday night law class. We definitely need it for our people.
Right.
I'm Officer Barakia Allah, representing the ISUPK. We started out at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, in 1969. Come to bring the truth of the Bible that the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans make up the 12 tribes of Israel. We must come back to this law. It's not a novelty. It's not an option. That's your culture. That's your moral code. And the fact that if we don't come back to the law, it's going to just lead to more destruction, more oppression. You know what I'm saying? More wickedness. Tonight's class, I heard Officer Kasiyat speaking on. Look like y'all was speaking on it a little bit. Right, definitely. Nice class. The world is forcing you to draw a line in the sand when concerning the LGBTQ, the Rainbow Coalition. I mean, it's forcing you. Really, the Most High forcing you to draw the line in the sand. And who is you? That's so-called blacks, Hispanic, Native Americans, who is forcing to draw the line in the sand. You know what I mean? Because the other heathens, you already know, don't it seem like it don't really matter what stance the heathens really take, really, because you know what I mean, it's always about what the Israelites think. You know what I mean? What so-called black people think. You know what I mean? Whether, you know, because we already know nobody's concerned about what the East Indians have to say about, you know, what they stands on homosexuality. Right. Even the Africans, I mean, so they got what 60 to 100 nationalities, different countries down there. Some of them are with it, some of them with it, some of them they'll kill you about that. But still, it's still not really a big worldwide deal. But when you do it, so-called black man and so-called black woman, when y'all do it, that's when it's a big deal. You know what I'm saying? They have whole agendas and whole conferences to stop so-called black people from being so homophobic. You know what I'm saying? And I hate that word anyway, phobia, the word phobia. You know what I mean? Right. That's like it's saying that you scared of something. Right. That you got fear of something. We don't deal with fear around here. We're not scared of anything. There's that we not tolerating that. Just like you wouldn't tolerate a crackhead, just like you wouldn't tolerate a meth head in your home. Are you meth head phobia? You got a meth head phobia? You got a crackhead phobia? You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
So like the other one, you just touched on something because they do want you to have a thought process as though it makes them more of a victim if you add phobia to it because it's acting like you're scared of them. You're scared of them for what? So if that's the case, what about a pedophiliac? You don't call him a pedophobia. Yeah,
that's right. You know what I'm saying? Do they have to coin that term to make people realize? Oh, you pedophilia, phobia. Pedophobia. That you be, you know what I mean? That's crazy, right? Oh, you a murder phobia.
Right.
You feel me? You know what I'm saying? We I thank God for the ISUPK. We're gonna we put it right back in these folks' face. You know what I mean? The hypocrisy of this world. You know what I mean? The audacity of this world. And we already know, according to the scriptures, the earth is being given over to the hand of the wicked. You know, I know a lot of us in the school, we all know that scripture, but we definitely gonna go over some things according to the law to rest our minds on, you know what I mean, our spirits on, and how to govern our household and govern those around us. You know what I mean? The Lord ain't doing nothing but He choosing a remnant. He only chooses a remnant of people, so it's gonna be people around you sometimes in your own household. It's gonna be your family members, sometimes your friends, your neighbors, your co-workers. All they're gonna be caught up in these alternative lifestyles that's against the Most High. And you know, these scriptures and these classes are set up so you know you will know how to move and govern yourself accordingly when it's time. You know what I mean? You know, it's your slavery or whatnot. Just like we do with the with the heathens, with the Edomites or whatnot. We can't go up and just say, hey, the white man is the devil. We'll love to do it. Even if you own your own business, you can't do that. You'll be ran out of town. You'll get all your documentation, your legal documentation, all of that to be revoked, everything. So you know what I mean, it's a way you govern yourself, but you know, even at your job or whatnot, you can't say I hate these heathens or whatnot. But you know, just do like they do with us. We work with them and go home. Right. But I mean, it's a little different now. They want y'all Negroes to hang out a little more now. You know what I mean? They want to get y'all to the house so they can so y'all can come up missing or something. You know what I mean? They want to do crazy stuff. They want to feel your hair these days. You know what I'm saying? They want to kick it a little more these days, but you won't kick it with them. You won't kick it with them. You know what I mean? You just give them your work, do your best. But if something comes up at your job or something dealing with your slavery that compromises your beliefs, that's when you'll know when it's time to stand. Right. They may mess around in the future and have Trans Day. Everybody dress up as everybody dress up as the opposite sex day. We all wearing rainbow for the whole week at work or whatnot. You say no, that's for sure. You better stand up on that now. You know what I mean? You don't want to be caught up here with all that. Ain't no explaining that. Go ahead, Officer Cops here.
You appreciate the prophet line because it's happening. They're going to have a day where trans are going to be noticed because they feel like they don't have a place.
Right.
When it comes to the LGBTQ community, they say that the trans people are the ones who are getting more of a problem than the rest of them. So in order to make them feel like something, they're going to end up giving them a day. That's going to happen. All right,
you see it clear as day. You know what I mean? You see it clear as day. You know what I mean? We taught a few classes on homosexuality. We go out there talk about it, and they be like, why y'all always talk about homosexuality? You know what I mean? They want to try to turn it around like we looking into it too much. But that stuff is in our face. You know what I mean? Right. We gotta double down for our children, for the future. You know what I'm saying? We don't got time to be caught up in offending somebody or doing proper balance or talking about it or nothing. You know what I mean? We'll talk about this junk every day. You know what I mean? Until we beat it until get in our people's head that this is not the way. This is the alternative, very vile way of living. And you know what I mean? And you cannot build a nation off of that. Right. You know what I'm saying? We don't have the numbers. We don't have the population to even be playing around with that. You know what I'm saying? Our so-called black people are taboo about that. Keep on being taboo and be even more taboo. You know what I mean? We don't need no acceptance in that. Where y'all worried about the wrong thing. You know what I mean? You need to be worried about what the Most High, the judgments is gonna coming down. You know what I mean?
Right.
Cause they're hang and be with the homosexuals and be friends of the world all day and every day. And if they child come up and say, hey, I want to be a alternative lifestyle, they're not gonna say nothing. They either not gonna say nothing or they're gonna enable it for that child. But let me ask y'all, especially y'all women, let me ask y'all a question. Because you already know black women love to hang around gay men a lot of times. Sometimes, not all of them, but some of them. But can y'all black women and some of y'all black men too, they know something? Can y'all honestly say y'all don't know none that just dropped dead, just died? They got splashes all over their body. They taking prep and they got their face all splashed up. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Once you start to know a few homosexuals, then after give it a few years, a few of them start to die. You know what I mean? They start to scribble away. The judgment come down. So you mean to tell me you'll sign your son up for that? You'll sign your nephew up for that? You'll enable that? You'll fight. That's what you fighting for? You know what I mean? You need to be trying to save that person just like you have a nephew or a son or a daughter that say, hey, I want to grow up and be a killer. I want to be a gangbanger. I want to be a pimp. You know what I mean? Our women, the mothers will stand up against that now. You know what I mean? Most of them will. They'll stand up against that. But they look at us crazy for telling don't have your son, don't have your daughter stand against that. They say let them kids be who they want to be. Well, if they want to be a drug addict, you gonna stop that? This is like we was breaking up before. If you want to be a killer, they're gonna stop that.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you gotta look at it the same way. You know what I mean? Because just like you won't let crackhead smoke crack in your house, don't let that go down in your house either.
That's right.
You know what I mean? You gotta be looking at it the same way because they can die quicker on that. You know what I mean? For real. You already know. You may have people on Facebook or whatever. You already know them people. The judgment be coming down on them folks. Them folks be withering away. One minute they be here smiling, next minute they be gone. And the same way in the streets too. You know what I mean? We definitely get on the streets. We see one thing about ISUPK, we balance out. You know what I mean? We speak against the whole the street gangster life. A lot of us coming from that also. Some of us coming from that and made it out. You know what I mean? You're gonna get killed in that. You can get killed in that too. But we focusing on that. And what inspired tonight's class was the whole, everybody know about what happened with the Just Hilarious situation, right? Anybody not familiar with that?
Salaki Adawan.
Go ahead.
La, sir. I'm not familiar with it.
Okay. Salaki, I was kind of saying, did you start taking attendance or anything?
I got it.
You got it. Okay. I'm trying to see online. All right. So, you said you don't know about it. All right. So, are you in a position to? Okay. Can you Google Just Hilarious and transgender? And we're just gonna read a little bit about what happened, so so they can explain it to us. But yeah, that situation is just things are tipping over and going overboard. And let me know when you got it.
Come, sir.
What you bring out is just so heavy because next week I'll be following up this class, talking about transgender and all that, and who started it, where the roots of it are from. And I'm gonna tell you, I'm glad that Just Hilarious is saying what she's saying. I'm glad that she said it. Actually, what I'm finding out is there are a lot of women who are coming to her aid that are backing her up, which is something that needs to be done.
Right.
I'm imagining a lot of them that are doing it are probably sisters.
Right. Yeah, definitely. And that's what why I wanted to that's what inspired the class, because it's time to draw the line in the sand. You know what I mean? On the whole community.
Right.
You got that? You got it. You see an article, anything yet? Any write up about it?
Come, sir. I see many articles about.
All right, yeah. Click on one, not a video. Just click on one, and give me a paragraph.
Come, sir.
You can go ahead and bring that out, yeah, because it don't make no sense how they the arrogancy of this world, of that community coming down now. They too full of themselves,
right?
Which they actually saying that natural women are full of themselves,
right?
Or what they saying the natural women are arrogant,
right?
You know what I'm saying? The pie. All right, go ahead and bring it out.
Come, sir.
You bring a Gatorade, a red one. No.
This is the title of a Rolling Stone article.
Rolling Stone. Okay, go ahead.
Come. A black comedian went on a transphobic rant. This trans actress won't let it slide. And the article begins. After comedian Just Hilarious compared trans people to mental patients, actress T.S. Madison tells Rolling Stone she's fighting back for her community. Okay, next paragraph.
Uh-huh.
Let me see. I probably want to jump down to this paragraph.
Oh,
okay.
No. Go ahead and start. I'm looking at the article that you want. Go ahead and start it when trans activists.
Come, sir. When trans activist and actress T.S. Madison was scrolling on Instagram last week, She never considered that a small circulating video from a trans TikTok creator would end in a transphobic rant from one of the internet's biggest black comedians. But that's exactly what happened. On Saturday, comedian Jess Hilarious posted a video to Instagram responding to trans TikTok creator Blessing Rose. Jess, whose real name is Jessica Moore, took umbrage with a video of Rose saying cis women don't own womanhood or periods.
Say that again.
Cis women don't own womanhood or periods.
Right, cis women, cisgender and all that. That's what they call in natural born women. You know what I mean?
Oh,
That you know they got all these they identify his and they and all these little terms they got. Now natural born women is called a cisgender or cis woman. You know what I mean? And they saying, quote, they don't own womanhood or periods. Keep on reading.
So like Adawan, I'm a little confused because a cis woman is a natural woman, right?
Yeah, that's how they refer to as a natural born woman.
So when they say don't own womanhood or have a or have a monthly menstruation, is that what they mean by periods?
Right. Yeah. Yep. That's what they don't own the cycle.
Well, I thought they were natural women though.
Right. That's you know what I mean? And that's how you know the Yahweh the Most High is not with that, because he's not the author of confusion. Go ahead, Scott.
If that's what he's bringing out, and what's happening is, even in reading it causes confusion, because what they're telling you is that what makes you a woman, or one of the characteristics that make you a woman, don't make you a woman. Meaning, if you have a period, you don't own that.
Right.
Meaning, you have a menstrual cycle, but that doesn't mean that you own womanhood. What men have menstrual cycles?
Exactly. You know what I mean? Yeah, anything that's dealing with the woman, you know what I mean? That's a keep on reading.
Come on, sir. As a stand-up comedian and internet star, Moore is best known for the no-holds-barred approach to comedy she perfected on the MTV series Wild 'N Out. And it's that same energy she brought to Instagram with a fiery speech calling trans women delusional, mentally insane, and angry.
Right. Go ahead. No, you can stop right there. Yeah, right. And she and the sister Jess is exactly correct. You know what I mean? Delusional, mentally insane, and angry. Now they want to counsel her. Now she's homophobic, transphobia, and all that. But the thing about it is that y'all, if y'all familiar with Jess Hilarious, she is a comedian, but sometimes she get on she'll roast people and make people mad or whatnot. And people always want to make fun of her and say that she looks like a transgender. People be calling her, man, and everybody got laughs. Just a few weeks ago, Summer Walker got mad at her and said that she had a few chromosomes from being born a man. Right. You know what I mean? The way she looked, everybody laughed. Nobody got canceled. Nothing. It was not a big deal. It was just really the jokes was on Just Hilarious. Right. So it's okay to say that she looks like a man in the jokes, but when she's, you know what I mean, standing up for her natural born right essence as a woman, now is a problem. Now your life, your job, your safety is on the line now. Go ahead, Oscar.
Like I want not to cut you off, but I'm telling y'all what's so heavy about this is when you listen to it, they use calling her, saying that she looks like a man, as an insult.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you go back into history, well, not even history, but today, they use, like, if a boy does something, and they're like, man, that's gay. That right there is used as an insult. If they're doing something that's feminine, oh, that's gay. So now to say to her that she looks like a man, you're calling a woman that is a woman, telling her she looks like a man as an insult. So if that's the case, aren't you being hypocritical at the fact that she's letting you know not only is she not a man, but men aren't women.
So their whole thought process on the argument in itself makes no sense because they're knocking her saying, "Oh, you like a man," and then she's saying, y'all aren't women." What's wrong with what she's saying is compared to what they were saying to her.
Right. Exactly. Like they can. It's cool. It's cool when they do it. It's a problem when the heterosexual people do it. You know what I mean? It's just like when Boosie was going going against Dwayne Wade and Gabriel Union about they transgender son, and Gabriel Union said that that Boosie got a whole lot of D on his mind. He must be wanting to say, he must want something. You know what I mean? So they're it's cool when they dish it out. You see how that game work? That's why you can't. That's what I'm saying. That's why that's when the Most High wish you, man. You don't get caught up in no trick bag like that, man. We ain't gonna let them keep us in a trick bag. Are you still holding that article? I do see what. Read that next paragraph. We're gonna shut this article down.
Come on, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see where we at.
Yeah, you can edit it.
Come on, sir. Who the blank is gonna stand up for us? Moore asked in the now deleted video. And us, I mean real women.
I tell you who gonna stand up for y'all. I tell you gonna stand the ISUBK, the Israelites,
Right.
the priests and the prophets of the Most High.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's who gonna stand up. You got all these doggone straight men, so-called straight men, black men shook. They don't want to say nothing.
Right.
You know what I mean? They don't got no smoke for it. They barely want to talk about it. You could probably in barbershops. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Them boys don't want to stand up for nothing, man. Keep on reading.
Come on. Who the blank is gonna stand up for us? Moore asked in the now deleted video. And us, I mean real women, biological women. When does the delusion stop? What is the difference between a trans person and someone who has been diagnosed to be mentally insane?
Oh yeah, she coming with it. You know what I'm saying? That's why I apply to sister. See when some people like that's in the that we call stars stand up like that, man. You know what I mean? We already know that type of talk can get you up out of here. Right. Can be a career killer.
You're right.
You know what I'm saying? Because we already know before 100 years ago in America, if you was a homosexual, that was all they treated like a mental illness.
That's right.
Now you better not even say nothing like that, which it is. It is. A lot of times these people have been touched, been compromised, or something that happened as a child, which we have compassion on. You know what I mean? That's why we got the law class. That's why ISUBK is set up. You know what I mean? The world is, for a woman, we already know is a little bit more. We give them a lot more leeway to come back. Before a man, we know if a man been compromised, the world will say you can never come back. You know what I'm saying? But but we already know all things could be done through Christ by what I mean, right, by the Most High for sure. Right. Any what I mean, that if you want to change anything, you know what I mean, because it's hard to do anything. It's hard to get off crack. It's hard to get off drugs. It's hard to stop messing with whores. It's hard to get out of adultery. It's hard to do a lot of things. You know what I mean? The Lord, the world may not forgive you. They may not, but the Lord will. You turn from your wicked ways. Anything, you know what I mean? You may got sticky fingers and want to got to be a kleptomaniac, be trying to steal everything. You know what I mean? You could be changed from your wicked ways. Right. And it's sure enough, you could be changed from your ways of being a homosexual as a male too. Now I ain't gonna lie. If it'll be hard for me to accept a brother that's been like that, and now while you've been delivered. You know what I mean? Of course, I'm gonna be looking at you crazy, but God knows if it's in your heart and you change, you can change, and you could be a part of this. You could be a part of the Christ body. You know, you can put those things behind. The Bible says you can. The Lord says you can. So who am I to say? Who are the word to say you can't? You know what I'm saying? Pick me up at James 4:4. Go ahead. Who is this? Shalom, Lord Christ. You wanted to bring something out?
I was just checking in.
Okay. Con, I'm gonna put you down, young man, Brian. All right, yeah, pick me up at James 4:4.
Come, sir. The book of James, chapter 4, and verse 4. Ye adulterers and adulteresses, know ye not that the friendship of the world is enmity with God?
Right? Don't y'all know that the friend, if you're a friend with the world, then you against the Most High. And, you know, with social media, even before social media, we already know it's very hard for humans. Well, we're not studying all humans; we studying the Israelites.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's very hard for people not get caught up in a population with popularity contests.
Right.
You know what I mean? Everybody wants to be loved, wants to be liked. Everybody search for likes and loves on social media. You know what I mean? When everybody is against you, you can be right. But if everybody is against you and people coming out against you and protesting you and oppressing you, you know what I mean? You're a lot of people will break. A lot of people can't stand the rain. You know what I mean? They'll go ahead and jump off a bridge if everybody go do it.
Yeah.
The things that our grandmamas told us and our mothers, our parents told us, hey, if everybody jump, don't follow the crowd. If everybody jump off a bridge, are you gonna do it? You know what I mean? The blind lead the blind. Whatever. These we see these statements did not stick with a lot of us. Yeah. And these generations that come, because they're like our mothers and our fathers never taught us that. Now they didn't teach us the truth, but that was the truth. Because I heard that all the time. You know what I mean? Hey, well, mama, everybody else do it. Well, if everybody jump off a bridge, you gonna do it too? Right. You know what I mean? What happened to that type of talk? What happened to that type of raising the kids? What happened to that type of mentality? Right. You know what I mean? Everybody's so caught up in being light and don't want to be, because you know what I mean, y'all don't want to be persecuted. You don't want to be persecuted. You can't stand the rain. And with that, you can't follow Christ. Right. You know what I mean? For real, you gotta take even the Christians. The pseudo Christians, take Christ out of it. You're not you know what I mean? Ain't got nothing. You just take Christ out of it. You ain't that. You just hold the Bible and go through with your traditions. Because if you're gonna be a disciple of Christ, if you're gonna be a follower of Christ for real, guess what? You're gonna go through what Christ went through. Christ got persecuted. He was not loved by the world. Right. You know what I mean? When they lied on him 2,000 years later. And lied on who the real man of who called Jesus Christ is, and made him all loving person. He going for anything. Then now, you know what I mean? Now it's okay to be Christ-like. But when Christ walked this earth, you know what I mean? They hated him, and they, ladies and gentlemen, of course we all know they killed him. You know what I mean? They hung him on a tree, on that cross, for sure. That's what happens. You know, I'm not saying you may not have to go through that per se, but you know what I mean, the ridicule and the persecution you may get from your peers, from the world. You know what I mean? You got to be able to stand the rain. Right. You know what I mean? That's being Christ-like. Keep on reading.
Come, sir. Whosoever therefore will be a friend of the world is the enemy of God.
You're an enemy of the Most High. You know what I mean? If you mad at Jess Hilarious, then you're an enemy of the Most High. Right. You know what I mean? If you calling somebody, oh, you homophobia, you're an enemy of the Most High. If you just go along to get along, you're an enemy of the Most High. Just like a lot of our so-called black women, they are a rest haven, a safe place for a homosexual black men. You know what I mean? You're an enemy of the Most High, sister. For real. They're the most religious people ever on this earth, and they enable and they're friends with homosexual men. You know what I mean? Even to the point where they will have sons and children in their household, and they will bring these homosexual men around their children all day, every day, and the women also. With homosexual women, they'll bring them around. It's like they so fascinated by the lifestyle. Anything that's alternative is like, it's just, it's against God. It's so fascinating. You know what I mean? They so funny and everything. Everybody knows that goes down or whatnot. But you're an enemy of the Most High, man. We definitely wanted to build that foundation off of that. Just know if you're getting persecuted, the world hates you. People scared to come around you. People are always talking about that you got hate speech or whatnot, just know you in the right place.
Right.
That you doing the right thing. Go ahead, officer.
That's my black on the comments said, Sloppy, can I drop a bone on Tavier?
On Tavier?
No, Black. I think on
Well,
from Arizona.
what do you say? Can he drop a what?
Yes, Sloppy. Can I drop a bone on the tape leader?
On the tape leader?
No.
What was that last two words?
Can I drop a bone on the tape leader?
Oh, can I drop a ball on the table here?
Oh, it's not slang Arizona.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, Con. Oh, Con, go ahead. Let him in. You want to get chimed in? Yeah, ask him if you want to get chimed in. He can do it. He definitely can do it. Now definitely like now some of y'all now the pastors, now some pastors, now we already know Christianity is with the whole LGBTQ community.
Right.
You know what I mean? We already know, especially in Atlanta. Atlanta is like I don't even know Atlanta is a good example because there's so much rainbow. The streets are painted of the rainbow, literally. Right. Here. It's like when you pull up on a church, you see the rainbow flag outside the church. You know what I mean? But one thing about Atlanta is a very influential place. So what you see here in Atlanta is going to be trickled down to the whole America. You know what I mean? This is the black world. This is the black the most black population a lot of times. So what you see us doing here first, it will trickle down to places like DC. You know what I mean? Places where other black communities. You know what I mean? So yeah, it is an Atlanta thing right now. But it's coming to a neighborhood near you. You know what I mean? Go ahead, Officer Garcia.
You know what? It's topic, I guess, for me is so much heavy because I hate it so much because I work in downtown Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
I see our people destroyed with this abominational sexual whatever, and the science behind what they do and the effort behind what the oppressor does to make you accept what it is they do. You'll have people say, well, I don't care what you do, just keep it real with me.
Right.
Don't even say that. Because if you black, Hispanic, Native Indian, I care what you do. Don't say, oh, well, this come to me, or well, to keep it real with you, because we can't be friends. I can't hang out with you. You can't come to my house. I can't talk to you unless you want to hear this truth.
Right.
So stop trying to make it to where, well, it's okay, just keep it over there. It's not okay, period. And then what they try to do is they take the rapper. Because the niggas look at the rappers and look up to them so much, they want to take the hardest or the hardcore of the rapper and make them accept homosexuality. So if they accept it, then the people out here in the world who aren't rappers start to say, okay, well, if they accept it, then it's okay. T.I. is supposed to be pro-black, but T.I. won't speak against homosexuality. So people, there's a limit that they won't go beyond so that they can keep their status.
Uh-huh.
And also, when they do that, it weakens these brothers and sisters like you're watching.
Right, it definitely does. And everybody know, everybody know that it's all about the money. It's all about the money. They may have strong convictions. Because we already know before the world turned like this, we already know how people like T.I. and everybody's talking. We know their stance on when it comes to this. But this is something that you could lose your status for. And you won't have no way to really maintain your lifestyle. Then you ain't touching that issue. I ain't touching that. Oh, y'all talking about the Rainbow Coalition? I ain't touching that. I ain't speaking out. I'm not speaking out against that at all because they want their money. Go ahead.
Because you're right. That's the fastest way to fumble the bag. They say.
Right. Yeah. They done seen. It's been plenty of examples. Just like in the slavery. You know what I mean? Somebody a runaway slave or somebody who's being insubordinate against the master. You know what I mean? They're gonna make an example out of that slave. And when they see all them whips and all that beating on that person back, a foot cut off or something like that for running away, the other slaves, they put the fear in the heart of other slaves, and they say, "I'm not touching that. I'm gonna be obedient." You know what I mean? I don't want no smoke or none of that. For real, I'm trying to keep my job. For real, if I lose this job, I don't know what I would do. I don't got nothing to fall back on. I got kids and everything. For real, so I'm not touching that. You talking like that, we're not coming around you. You know what I mean? For real, we already know that money runs that because they made plenty of examples out of people talking like that. For real. The baby just not getting back to where you know what I mean, he even on the radio, he had a doggone basically kiss their feet and lick their toes. For real. For his homophobia with so-called homophobia statements or whatnot. His rant he went on, which he was right undoing. But we see but you know, it's plenty of examples of people getting cut down and whatnot. They already know it's already in the world's mind, and those people are powerful. Those people run the world. They run the money just like the Jewish people. You know what I mean? One thing you don't do, you don't talk about the Jewish people, and you don't talk about the homosexual people. But thank God for the ISUPK and for you know what I mean, the Israelites ISUPK, because what we do, you know what I mean, we're not held in check by any of that. We're not held in check by the standards of the world. You know what I mean? We're in the world. We're not of the world. We actually live in those scriptures. You know what I mean? We say, and we're gonna talk. We're gonna take it to the next level. We on the streets spewing that out daily. You know what I mean? When it comes down to abortion, about everything, the unpopular opinion. ISUPK, we backing up. We'll back the whole world down.
That's right.
It don't make none of us. You know what I'm saying? We you know what I mean? We got to be the last masculine men left. Well, damn it, we'll be that. Right. Go ahead. Somebody want to say something on the phone?
If I could, I'd want. Can you hear me all right, sir?
Hold on, real quick. Who is this speaking on the phone? Young man Paul. Okay. Slakia, hold on one moment. I'm gonna let a brother on the video chat say something. Hold on one moment. You coming out of Arizona, right, brother?
Coming out of Wankan.
Okay. Okay. No, hold on. I'm gonna let somebody else speak, and then I'm gonna come right back to you. Go ahead.
Salam Yabashim Yashabakatham. Yabash, Officer Kabata Mob at Arizona. Salakia, sir. Building on what the other brother and yourself was talking about regarding this whole identity situation. I tell people, and I ask people this all day long, you know, as often as I can, that this identity thing is extremely dangerous. We're coming to a point where a person can identify as a plane. What this is the danger that this presents, and it's in our faces, and most people don't realize is what happens when the so-called when a Caucasian male, because they're not men like us, but when a Caucasian male identifies as a female, goes into the female's restroom, and then identifies as another woman or a little girl's wife, and identifies as a so-called lesbian, we are in serious danger as a nation. Adopting that phrase of what do they say? What do the Christians say? Do is to each his own. It makes no sense for us to try to be like the heathen in that fashion. Salakia.
Right? Yeah, not at all. You know what I mean? I can't. You know what I mean? But what they won't let us do, we can't identify as a slave master. We can't identify as a billionaire. We can't identify as a millionaire. Shoot, I identify as a doggone mogul. You know what I mean? Come on now, that ain't gonna work with it. I identify as the CEO of this company. You know what I mean? Walk into your company, I identify as the CFO and the CEO. You know what I mean? Negro has several seats. You know what I mean? But when it come down to the you know what I mean, the feminization of the black male of men and men all around, then it works then. It works when it comes to the sexual deviancies. You know what I mean? That and when y'all see that, you see that works then. But when we want to be who we want to be, you know what I mean? Even if a so-called black person say they're from the tribe of Judah on TV and say I'm an Israelite from the tribe of Judah, you Negro, you gonna lose everything. You can't even identify that. How we know? How do we know? Kyrie Irving. How we know? Kanye West. How we know? Nick Cannon. They can't. Ain't that crazy? Ain't that crazy? They put us in the trick bag, didn't it? Them brothers can't even say they from the tribe of Judah, but you let but these doggone these men that are homosexuals, now can identify and come into the bathroom with your little girls. Go ahead, Officer Cassiat.
You know,
Oh,
both
like it,
saying so heavy, and what the brother bringing out about it being dangerous, it's dangerous for Israel because we're still, no matter what we identify as, they still identify us as niggas.
Oh,
No
exactly.
matter what we say we are, they still look at us and be like, "Oh, y'all are niggas."
Mhm.
Because at the end of the day, if we get pulled over, you can tell them, "I identify as this. You still a nigga."
Mm-hmm.
Everyone else, when they get pulled over, whatever you identify is what they're going to say that you are. But the thing about it is, imagine having to go to court. When you go to court, you can identify and say whatever you want as a white man. You can say, well, this is who I am. You might even get off. You might say, well, the person who did the crime was a 6-foot white male. You see him in the courtroom. The person might point to that person. The lawyers will say, well, she identifies as a woman.
Right.
So therefore, you can't say that this is the person who did it because this right here is a woman, not a man. When a person clearly saw you do it. So what they're doing is they're creating all these different scenarios that are going to cause different precedences in the legal system that's going to make it to where they get off from doing this type of shit. So what the brother's saying is heavy.
Right. Yeah. Definitely. The the identification thing is like we see, like we say, they use it to their convenience, and they use it to oppress us. Ain't nothing but a oppression, and it, like for real, and it's bringing us back more and more into slavery. The brother on the phone with the young man Chris, you had a precept you want to bring out?
Young man Paul, sir.
Oh, so like a young man Paul.
Yes, sir. So it's just real heavy point. Because a lot of times we look to these celebrities and everything, these leaders to take us out. But just from what you're saying, that's what I've been realizing is these celebrities aren't going to do that because, like you said, they're afraid to use those riches. That's what reminded me of Deuteronomy 17 and 17.
17 and 7.
17 and 17, sir.
17 and 17. Go ahead and bring it out.
Count on one card.
Yeah, right. You know, we already know it's filthy lucre. It's money. It's all about the money. You know what I mean? For the ones that's supposed to be, you know, a man's man is supposed to be mainly men, still heterosexual. It's all about the money. They're not gonna let nothing come in and mess their money up. For real. They're you know what I mean, they're gonna sell out to be to so they won't have to go back into the ghettos, so they won't have to be poor again. You know what I mean? So they won't have to be famous, and now they're working at Walmart. So they're gonna do whatever it takes because we already know we've been suffering at the bottom of this empire called America, Babylon, long enough, and that's why we selling each other out. That's why we stabbing each other in the back. That's why we doing whatever, because you know just to get out that hellhole. Go ahead, bring it out, brother.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 17, verse 17. Neither shall multiply wives to himself, that his heart turn not away. Neither shall he greatly multiply to himself silver and gold.
Right, and what your point? Okay. The last point. Neither shall he greatly multiply to himself silver and gold.
That's what will make you turn your heart away from the Most High.
Right. It definitely do. You know what I mean? Anything you put over the Lord, whether it's status, whether it's likes on Facebook or social media, you know what I mean? Whether it's, you want everybody to love you, or you want acceptance from the world, acceptance from your family, you know what I mean? Anything, acceptance from your kids.
Right.
Anything like real, like anything you do like that, you putting over the Most High. You can feel that in on all spaces. At the water for that precept, definitely. Pick me up at Isaiah 5 and 20. What I was saying about the pastors earlier, I mean, we criticize Christianity all the time, most definitely, and 95% of them are definitely not standing on anything. You know what I mean? Because the Bible clearly states their stance on homosexuality and many other issues. this Wednesday night law class, they say the law is done away with. So that means you could do anything. It ain't no law. But then you have some of these Christian pastors that say, no, not in my church. We don't allow that. We standing on that. But you know the problem is we don't hear you.
Right.
We don't hear you. We don't see you. If you did have a problem with it, you're quiet as a mouse. You're not standing on anything. And that's why we got to charge you for that. We got to charge you along with the rest of them. Because you know what I mean? Because if you are that one little small church that's standing on that, you still got 99% of lies you preaching. For real. You talking about the law done away with. You ain't telling people who they are. You know what I mean? You going to church on Sunday. You know what I mean? You a pork chop preacher.
Right.
The chitlin serving preacher at the service. Right. You know what I mean? You got a big old Christmas tree set up in your church and lit up on Christmas Day. You know what I mean? You with divorce, you with you know what I mean? You with adultery, everything. You going on with everything. So if you are standing for that, we don't hear you. Right. So we must charge you along with the rest of them anyway. You know what I mean? You got that for me?
Come on, sir.
Go ahead.
Isaiah chapter 5 and verse 6. Come on. And
I'm sorry, Isaiah 5 and 20.
Come. Book of Isaiah chapter 5 and verse 20. Woe unto them that call evil good and good evil.
Right. We already know that's going down right now.
Right.
That's what the world, ladies and gentlemen, that's what the world is based on right now. Right. You know what I mean? Whatever the Most High say up, they say down. Whatever the Most High say right, they say left.
Right.
You know what I mean? Everything see the Satan, you got a carbon copy for everything. You know what I mean? The Most High said that the rainbow is a sign, is a biblical sign. Actually, the rainbow is a biblical sign.
That's right.
The devil came and Satan came and made it a doggone made it LGBTQ related to the fact that we won't even wear a rainbow on none of our clothing for the rest of our life anymore.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We don't want nothing represent unless we speak a derogatory against it, but that's a biblical sign from the Lord. Right. You know what I mean? And all they do is just take they just take the carbon copy of whatever the Lord set up, and they taint it. They taint it. Go ahead, Ox Kasiat.
There's a precept for that. You might already be on it.
Go ahead.
Who changed the truth of the Lord into a lie?
Right, yeah, Romans 125. Yeah, Romans 125 for sure. They that's what you got to watch that. But read that back over again. We say Isaiah 5:20.
Come, sir. Book of Isaiah chapter 5 and verse 20. Woe unto them that call evil good and good evil.
Right. Hold on now. Woe. It say woe. Don't let that go over your head. Don't let that go over your head. We are. Who knows what woe means? Who can tell me what woe means? Somebody on the phone, maybe. Go ahead.
It's like a warning.
What?
Danger, something bad coming.
Not exactly.
Yes, sir.
This Officer Makalak.
Yeah,
All right, go. What does woe mean?
Does it mean destruction, sir?
Destructions to y'all Negroes, to y'all niggas doggone talking about you're homophobic. To y'all women, they talk about you're homophobic. They're standing for that and marching for them people. You know what I'm saying? When you won't even give a brother, when all you want to do is down a brother and talk about everything a brother doing, you know what I mean? Whoa, that means destruction to them that call evil good and good evil. Go ahead. Keep on reading.
Come, sir. That put darkness for light and light for darkness. That put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter.
Right. That's what we're dealing with. That's what the foundation of what this world is. I mean, woe, destruction is coming to you that does that. Because we already know sin is only pleasurable for a season, man.
Right.
And then the destruction comes. You know what I'm saying? We are it's not a secret that we was bringing out the judgments on homosexuality is that they're dying at a rapid rate, especially the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native American ones. They're dying at a very rapid rate, especially the men. It's destruction already. So why would you sign your nephew? Why would you sign your son up for that? Why, you know what I mean? But everybody's so busy, so worried about offending somebody, but ain't nobody worried about offending the Lord.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But you worry about a man here on this earth. You don't remember that you supposed to be let the Lord be the truth and every man a lie?
Right.
Yeah, what are you standing on? You're not standing on anything. Right. So we definitely wanted to get that out. But that Just Hilarious situation it was just like, hey man, I gotta speak on this for sure. We always speak on it because I think the week before that they started to call the women they call the women private part, they calling that a bonus hole now. Y'all saw that? Right. I was saying these people getting overt with it.
Right.
You know what I mean? No longer will be known as a what's the political as a vagina, a box or whatever. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? It's a bonus hole, man. That's what they calling it now. And now you got cisgender. Y'all heard of that word right there? Cisgender? The word cisgender, man. But I wanted to go a little bit into that word cisgender. That's what they call naturally born women. Pedophile. And we're gonna let y'all know, we're gonna bring out on who coined that phrase. We already know the devil did. And what I mean, the devil, a doggone the Edomite coined that phrase, because remember, the earth has been given over to the hand of the wicked. All this stuff is being pushed down to our people from the devil, which is Esau. It started it all. The word cisgender. I'm going to this article. I'm about to read it out a little bit. Cis, coined by a pedosexual physician. Now, a pedosexual physician is somebody who is with pedophilia, and he's a physician. And it's this German, and it was coined in 1991 by a German, Edomite German named Volkmar Seguch. He made up the term cisgender, and it's gained widespread popularity in recent years, largely due to a push from trans activists who define the word as the opposite of transgender. However, few users of the term are aware it originated with a German sexologist who also believes pedophilia is a sexuality. It's a sexuality. Do I need to read that again? So, just to put it in layman terms, people talking about, oh, you're cisgender, they going with all these terms, not even knowing it's coming from a doggone pedophilia, a known pedophilia Edomite who trying to make pedophilia also the new normal. While y'all getting caught up in all this new normal for homosexuality, let them folks be. That's what they want to be. While y'all hating and all that, y'all don't know that all this stuff come from a doggone devil brain. It come from the devil brain who's trying to make pedophilia a regular sexuality and try to make that your new normal. So we got this. So this is a new thing today. In the next 5 to 10 years, maybe less. Now we'll probably be having classes on pedophilia, and people have to be more open for that, which is a damn shame. Go ahead, Officer Cassiar.
You it out, and I'm gonna tell you, it must be of the Most High, because my topic next week is touching on this very same thing. And when you look at the effort that they put into this, there's a class that I did maybe a year or so ago about the homosexual manifesto, and I believe it was written in maybe 1975, if I'm not mistaken.
Uh-huh.
And what they said was when they wrote this manifesto, they were telling you that 20 to 30 years from now, meaning that was back in the 70s, that what was going to happen was when you turned on your TV, you're going to see homosexuality and not heterosexuality. Your schools was going to talk about homosexuality and not heterosexuality. We're going to make it to where your heroes and your men that were masculine are now homosexual. And it's going to be to where being heterosexual is taboo, but being homosexual is the norm. They wrote that over 30 years ago, and you're looking at it right now, and it tells you it is your oppressor who was behind it from the beginning. And that's why my topic next week is going to be who did it first, because they've been doing this and they've been slowly pushing it to the point to where we're looking worse than Sodom and Gomorrah.
Right, yeah, definitely. They taking the cake. Yeah, and brothers, y'all better watch when y'all go out. When you go out to these lounges, to these clubs or whatnot. Yeah, definitely. We're gonna have to be militant out on that. You're gonna have to bring somebody with you, or definitely don't be just drinking anything, don't get sloppy. You ain't supposed to get drunk no way. Now you see what the Lord say, don't get drunk. You know what I'm saying? You get right because they you know what I'm saying, for real, because the Rainbow Mafia may come and I don't know what they're gonna be on. You never know what they may be on. They're gonna be looking to take something. How do we know? Because in Sodom and Gomorrah, same thing happened.
That's right.
Okay. All right, we're back to it. Yeah, right. So they calling the good evil and the evil good. You know what I mean? We doing all we doing is helping our people, because in 10 years from now, it's gonna be too late. You're gonna be too doggone a multiple sexual deviant. And they're gonna be talking about pedophilia. They're gonna they got a thing called MAPS, MAPS, minority attracted persons. Not minority, what's the word for people that's underage?
Minor.
Yeah.
Block it.
Yeah, minors attracted persons. For sure. That's already been on the books. You know what I mean? If you know what I mean, don't worry about the eyes should be careful. You know what I mean? We're gonna, if you don't know something, it's gonna be a priest and a prophet that's gonna teach you in one area and y'all teach us in another area. We always find our devices and the tricks and this devil of what they pushing. Yeah. You know what I mean? If you didn't know, now you know. It's coming. It's coming, man. For real. And we coming against that. And you got to know what to stand on. That's why the line is getting drawn in the sand, man. Because the main reason for that topic right there, the line getting drawn in the sand, because a lot of people, even our men, you know what I mean, a very masculine men, whatever, they cool with busting down. They get a little bust down, a little jump off, whatever you want to call it, Tatiana, whatever you want to call it. They'll mess with the midnight whores, the midnight ladies, or with a girl or they rib or whatever they want to call them, and they'll bust a threesome down. You know what I mean? They'll be in a whole marriage and go through 20, 30 threesomes with a woman and frown upon gay men. But I'm here to tell you that the LGBTQI, all that is on the same side. If you busting threesomes down with your woman or with a Tatiana or with a little midnight woman or whatever, that's something you like to indulge in, real, then I'm here to tell you that you're on the other side, brother. That you're part of the problem. You know what I mean? Women, if you're bisexual, you got a taste for all that. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You with a man, but you know what I mean? You'll go bump with a woman every now and then. You're part of the problem. But you think that what the transgenders is doing with the cisgender and they taking it too far. I'm here to tell you, you're also part of the problem. You're part of the problem. And the Lord wants you to choose here this day.
That's right.
Or what you gonna serve.
That's right.
You know what I mean? For real, because if you're gonna have one foot in, one foot out, doggone, the Lord gonna push you right on to the other side. Go ahead over there with them. You know what I mean? If you're gonna be taken up for, if you may be heterosexual, but your brother, your family member, somebody you real close with, is good, because everybody know a crackhead. Everybody knows somebody on drugs, and just like everybody knows somebody on drugs, everybody knows somebody who's homosexual. You know what I mean? Just because you love and you care for that person, I'm sorry, you're gonna have to offend them. You know what I'm saying? It's maybe to a point you're gonna have to offend them and stand on what the Lord said do. If you scared to stand up for what the Lord said do, if you scared to tell them people about themselves or take us or even just take a stance, maybe you don't say nothing. Maybe you just stop hanging with them like that. If you scared to do all that, and you mad at me for doggone talking against them because your best friend is homosexual or whatnot, then you on the other side. The line has been drawn in the sand. You with all that.
That's right.
You know what I mean? You enabling the cisgender talk. You enabling the bonus hole talk. You know what I mean? You enabling all that. You're part of the problem. You know what I mean? Or if you hanging with them and all that, talking on the phone with them all day,
right?
You're part of the problem, straight up. So that the line got to be drawn in the sand because this pedophilia stuff is coming right behind it. You know what I mean? Well, and then what's crazy is that the numbers on. Go ahead, Officer Mark.
Hey, what you didn't saying so heavy, sir, because I know I used to, you know what I mean, for a while, I always, like, trying to understand it, you know what I'm saying, but, you know what I mean, most of I cry for the truth, now that I understand it, you know what I mean, but for you to be, like, not us, I'm talking about, like, there's brothers in the world, for them to consider themselves to be straight men, and, you know, they hearing this, brings up this, and talk about this, and, you know, they'll be like,
hold on, you're in the Matrix now.
Talk about the homosexual. You must be a homosexual. And in my mind, I'm like, brother, why aren't you coming against it? You feel what I'm saying? Like, are you a homosexual? And it's just so crazy because, you know, in the word is like, you like, you know what I mean? It plays a trick on you. Like, what's going on? Am I tripping? But you know, in the truth, you realize, man, you got to stand on that.
Right.
And don't let up. You know what I'm saying? You got to stand firm on that.
Right. And I'm glad you brought it up because they be trying to use reverse psychology. Niggas don't be trying to use psychology in no other way, but they trying to use reverse psychology. Oh, yeah, you got to watch the ones that talk about it all the time and all that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah. But the thing is that they put it in our faces. They put it in our faces all the time. We got righteous indignation. It's called righteous indignation. We're angry in a righteous way. You know what I'm saying? And we coming against that. We don't want to see that.
That's right.
Every time you turn on the TV, you know what I mean? For real. We don't want to see it. We still, you know what I mean? They making it a new normal now when you see two men kissing. You know what I mean? That they getting to where everybody can watch P Valley now. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, you know what I mean? Like P Valley, like it should be vexing your spirit to even try to sit there and watch if you a man's man, it should vex your spirit to sit there and try to watch that, man.
Right.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Every time you turn that, and that's the representative of men. They showing every time you turn on a show, that's the representation of men, period. That homosexuality. And now it's showing the kids, okay, that's if you want some money, if you want to have some kind of status in this world, it's okay to be on that side. Right. It's okay. They pushing. But why are they pushing? Because let me ask y'all a question. What's the population of the whole world now? 7 billion plus people in this world estimated. What's the population of LGBTQ, the homosexuality of all the people on the earth? Because the way they pushing it on our people, the way they pushing it in Hollywood, the way they pushing it in these movies, and even on these songs, it must be a great number. But can anybody tell me what's the population of homosexuals in the world? Anybody want to take a shot at it? Or Google it?
Salaki Adawan.
Go ahead.
I could Google it. I can look it up for you, if I may.
All right, go ahead. Oh, Kasia got his hand in. Go ahead, Kasia.
It's a 2-year question, but it was something that I heard some time ago when it talks about young adults. He's saying that now 1 in 5 young adults don't identify as being straight. Meaning they're saying that like 40 to 50% of young adults will say, yeah, I'm not straight. As though it's, and I don't know, honestly, I don't know who they're polling, but it's a large number.
Right. I mean, yeah, you know, the number is growing, but the data on from the UCLA School of Law Williams Institute of adults in the U.S. This is in the United States now. This not the world. Salakia. This is just the U.S. that identify as LGB. I mean, lesbian, gay, bisexual is only 3.5% of the population. 3.5%. And the ones with a T, which is transgender, is only 0.3 of the population. So we got all this kick up and all this fuss of what's going on only for 3.5% of the population. Right. But what they're doing is what Kassia was bringing out is that these young adults, these younger kids, our children, they're trying to get these numbers up with that. Because the thing about it, if you go 6 months, if you got kids in your household or you getting them on the weekends or whatnot, if you go 6 months without, you might have put it down with your kids and let them know your stance on homosexuality. They with it, they hear daddy, what daddy talking about. But if you go longer, if you go 6 months without saying anything to them, they'll come back and say you're homophobic. They'll come back and say, dang, daddy, you know what I mean? I didn't know you hated gay people like that. Because what the TV is doing, what TikTok is doing, what social media is doing, they're working on your kids not just every day, they're working on them every hour, every slide, every reel. So you don't even have 6 months to wait to put that on your kids. You just have to be a repetitive type of thing. You know what I mean? You got to be over and over again. Go ahead, Officer Kassia.
The CDC, the Center for Disease Control, they said about 1 in 4 high school students identify as LGBTQ. According to a report the Center for Disease Control did on a Thursday using data from 2021. In 2021, 75.5% of high school students identify as heterosexual. The CDC Youth Risk Behavior Surveillance System found. So it's saying here that 75% of them do, and then the other 25% identify as LGBTQ, which that's moving up because it went from 15.5% to 26.5% from 2015 to 2021.
Right.
So it's they're pushing it. That's why the agenda now is to start teaching it more in schools.
Right, and that's why you got to teach your kids, and also the key point is teach your kids and teach your loved ones that you have authority and influence over is to embrace the hate, because you gotta have them where if everybody don't like me, that's okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If everybody look at if I got to be the bad guy, or if they got to be the bad woman, it's okay. I'm on the side. I'm gonna make it. We on the side of the supreme being, the Most High.
That's right. And
that takes some training on your part, for them to do, because kids want to be accepted. You know what I mean? Kids' mind are very impressionable, and so that's another thing. Not just rest in these, not just know these scriptures ourselves. We gotta let our light shine unto our children over and over again, because it could be coming to a home near you. Now, the people that's not in the truth and that refuse to hear the law of the Most High, they may be they may say they're not homophobia, but I guarantee you, if that woman has a son and he grows up and he starts saying, "Mama, I'm also a woman too," and he talk about womanhood and he cut his member off, you know what I mean? What mother's gonna be proud? Even the deviant ones that's with the movement. They may not necessarily want to see their son grow up and cut their member off and become a transgender, and then talking about he more of a woman than she is, because they real catty, so they're gonna get into it with their mama eventually. And I'm more of a woman than you, just because you know what I mean. Just because you got a cycle, just because you got a what they get in midlife, just because you get a menopause. Just because you get menopause or whatnot, you think you more of a woman than me, mama? Huh? It's gonna be those type of arguments. Then that it's gonna be something they not ready for. It's gonna be something that they're not ready for at all. They're gonna be saying that that you got a stinking uterus. That you got a stink box. Your box has got, because you know, a woman gotta go through a cleanses process with the blood and everything. That's a natural born woman. Not saying they got a stink now, but you know what I mean, it has to go through processes. But what the transgender do, they call, and the homosexual men, they call our sisters a fish. The generals brought that out. They call the natural born women fish. They say they got a stinking uterus and all that. So basically, they're saying if you want a uterus and don't stink, come get this transgender box. They come get this bonus hole. They ain't got no. You can clean it out just like your car. You can vacuum that thing out. Just put a vacuum down there. You know what I'm saying? For real. If you ain't got to worry about a stinking baby coming out of there, don't worry about it. All that junk, man. For real. Like, you know what I mean? Good night. It's going crazy. And all the stuff our women got to go through. Women got to go through stuff dealing with the fibroids. Women got to go through stuff dealing with their ovaries. Women got to do stuff dealing with stuff with their fallopian tubes getting wrapped up and everything. They got to go through stuff with their breast counts and everything, ovarian counts and everything. But who's gonna stand? But y'all ain't y'all ready to stand up against these people about being the very essence of a woman? Go ahead, Officer Kaziah.
I got to give a shout out to all the sisters in the ISUPK who are using their bonus holes to bring in priests and prophets into this truth.
Right, exactly. And then the people talking about, and yeah, definitely get a shout out to all the sisters in the truth. You well needed. You know what I mean? They because they be getting mad at us and say we've chauvinistic. And what the woman say? When you born of a woman? Well, let me throw it back at them. When they born of a woman, they talking about as a bonus hole. They talking about it's a stinking box or whatnot. The stinking uterus. They calling them a fish and everything. They were born from a woman. That's where they come from. You know what I mean? But that's another way of population control. You know what I mean? If you can get people identify as him and her, them and they, and all that, I'm telling you, the population. I mean, it's not like that right now, but in the next 50 years, next 30, 20 years, population, the baby making could be down. You know what I mean? Because you know, people in slavery go for every hook, line, and sinker that the devil has. Let the Edomites, let white folks do it. Black folks doing it 5 to 10 years later. We were looking at white folks crazy for being swingers and all them threesomes and bringing all type of stuff into their marriage bed. Now 10 years later, black people doing it. You know what I'm saying? We looking at them crazy for doggone being transgender. Now we always have homosexuals, but as far as cutting your member off and the women adding parts to themselves and being identifying and acting like they a whole nother gender, we looked at that. That was crazy talk to us. Growing up in the early 90s or early 2000s,
right?
Fast forward 20 years later, black people doing it. You know what I'm saying? Whatever your oppressor do, that's what the slaves gonna follow eventually. Pick me up at we still in Isaiah. Pick me up by Isaiah 1 and 9.
Come, sir. The book of Isaiah, chapter 1 and verse 9. Except the Lord of hosts had left unto us a very small remnant.
What? Hold on. We got let's marinate on that for a minute. Except the Lord of hosts had left a very small remnant. That's another thing. We don't need to be worried about the numbers. Don't be worried about the popularity contest. Right. The Lord is on your side, man. Right. You know what I mean? You doing the right thing.
Right.
You know what I mean? The Lord always dealing with a very small remnant. What's a highly esteemed among men is an abomination to the Lord. Right. You know what I mean? That's how you know you're in the right place. You know what I'm saying? Read it over again.
Come, sir. Except the Lord of hosts had left unto us a very small remnant, we should have been as Sodom.
Oh, snap. Y'all heard that? So basically, unless the Lord have set up the Israelites through the ISUPK, you know what I mean, of those that hear his law, we all, what did he say about Sodom?
We should have been as Sodom.
You should have been as Sodom. You know about Sodom and Gomorrah. This whole thing would have been shot out. This whole thing would have been rainbowed out. This whole thing would have been broke wrist out. This whole thing would have been bull daggered out. You hear me? It's Sodom. Keep on reading.
Come on, sir. And we should have been like unto Gomorrah.
This time it wouldn't be no more baby making. It would have been no more baby making, man. Unless he chose a very small remnant to keep the foot on the neck of the LGBTQ community. To keep the foot on the neck of them damn heathens, especially the Edomite, the devil, and all his ideologies, and whatnot. We weren't going for none of that unless the Lord had chose a very small remnant. We should all have been unto Sodom and Gomorrah. Right. You know what I mean? If the Lord ain't keep that remnant, man. You know what I'm saying? And that's what's important to know exactly who you are, because you're not going for anything. You know what I mean? You're not going for all that. You know what I mean? You know what tribe you are. You know exactly who you are. You know you're a prince of the power. The female, you know what I'm saying? Our female counterparts, they know they're daughters of Zion. That's how we not crashing out on this earth. Anything like for real, you know, even if your spouse betray you, you know what I mean? Because you see past the LGBTQ thing, we see brothers crashing out, killing their girlfriends, their ribs every day. Because they can't take them leaving. They can't take them going to another man. You mean, you know, now that's unlawful for sure. But it's a way to deal with these things. But when you know who you are, according to the word, you know what I mean? Whatever if somebody want to choose and be wicked, choose to run around on you, choose to just not be with you no more, they getting bored with you or whatever. You know one thing, you know what I mean? You know you will never crash out over that. You'll never crash out over that because you know exactly who you are, man. Right. But if you just thinking you just a regular, just a nigga out here, and not in the biblical term, if you just think you just a nigga out here and doggone, you have no moral code, no moral compass of that. You see your woman doggone, your woman left you and you heard she dating somebody else. Then you on demon time. Then you ready to go crash out, man. You ready to go kill that woman. You know what I mean? Because you don't know who you simply do not know who you are. When all you got to do is wait for it. You already know if that happened to you, the Lord got something better for you. Just wait, patience. That's the thing about the truth is you talk patience. You know what I mean? This is the patience and the faith for the saints. You know what I mean? He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. You know what I mean? That's what the saints do. We got patience and faith up unto the Most High. That's why we ain't gonna crash out over no whore. We ain't gonna crash out over no discrepancies of somebody choosing not to follow the law. You know what I mean? And it's easier said than done. But once you've been sealed, once you come into the school and you really got the ear for that, then we don't expect to hear any crashing out stories. You know what I mean? And that goes for domestic violence too. Why would you put your hands on that woman? Let her be. Let her be. For real. Because you're a saint. You know what I mean? This is the patience and the faith of the saints. Right. You know what I mean? We got patience and faith. We done waited out this doggone captivity. We definitely can wait out on the hoe.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Come on now. And definitely and also we don't have to put our hands against no homosexuals either. Because there's people going around hurting them also. That's what they scared of. Well, they already know the Israelites, they're rather for us to hit them. Because they know our words hitting them. We ain't gotta lay a finger on them. I don't want to lay a finger on them nowhere. The blood may be a transfusion. You know what I'm saying? For real. We ain't trying to get that monster no way. For real, we ain't laying a hand on nobody, a hair on a hand on nobody. Matter of fact, we not even protesting and picketing, counter protesting y'all parades or anything. We just setting up on the highways and byways and bringing that doggone hitting it like an AK-47. You wish you would have got hit with a bullet when the priests and the prophets come out with their words.
That's right.
Go ahead, officer.
It's like that one for me. You know, the community, they at war with themselves and they know it.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you pay attention to the commercials now, every single day is a different drug that they're hosting that is catering to homosexual men, saying, well, if you take this Cherubastatin, Floxacam, this right here will keep you from being undetected from your status of being HIV.
Right.
So what they're doing
The
is
prep and all that.
all this tribute for prep and all this, they continue to come up with medications so that you can continue to fight and be homosexual like you want to be.
Right.
They know they're dying. It's killing them, and they keep trying to come up with medications so they can keep on doing it.
Exactly. That's and that stuff. That's the side effects of that stuff is ugly. It's real ugly. Now you know what I mean, and that's where I want. That's why people don't need to be simple. You know what I mean. Your sexual orientation don't mean you can't shoot a basketball. Your sexual orientation don't mean you can't run a business.
Right.
You know what I mean. That these are the people being put in power by the so-called white man. They put they're not comfortable with a masculine black man in their company. That's why they're hiring everything. That's why they're hiring all the LGBTQ men, because they'll rather see that than the masculine man, because that's more of a competition for them. It reminds them of the true essence of a man, everything that they are, that they're not. They're offended by your masculinity, black man. Hispanic man, Native American man, they're offended by that. You ain't did nothing to them. All you do is go to work and try to move up, and you have smiles for them. But you're a man, but you keep your manhood intact at the end of the day, and they're offended by that. They're highly offended by that, and they cannot suffer that. So they'll rather have a effeminate male to run. If they're gonna be anything black, affirmative action, then they'll have a feminine male to run that. You know what I mean? They'll rather see that than your black masculine behind any day. Right. Believe me, these are true stories. We done all been through it. I definitely done been through it.
Come.
They don't want to see they don't want to hear your voice, your masculine voice. You are already suppressing your voice because your natural voice is treacherous to them. You know what I mean? You gotta already throw your little white voice on the phone. You already gotta suppress your walk and try to walk a little bit more a little bit more corporate, because your walk is treacherous, your aura is treacherous. Come through it, and they don't prefer that. They can't suffer that. You know what I mean? But they'll still fire you with a drop of a dime and replace you with an effeminate black male. You know what I mean? And now we understand. Keep on reading Isaiah 30. Keep on reading. Sorry, what is that? Isaiah 1 and 9. I mean,
come, sir. Verse 10. Hear the word of the Lord, ye rulers of Sodom. Give ear unto the law of our God, ye people of Gomorrah.
Right. Y'all see that, man? That's the Lord. That's the Lord trying to He's pleading with his people. It's always been a problem, according to Isaiah, according to the scriptures. The Lord saying, come back to the law. Come back into this remnant. You know what I mean? This Wednesday night law class. The Lord, it's always been a problem. Don't think anything is new up under the sun now. Ain't nothing new up under the sun. You know what I mean? I may not forgive you, but the Lord will. You feel me? Well, we was talking about a man like real. If you was in that lifestyle, hey man, look, just focus on the Lord. The Lord will forgive you. You did. You know what I'm saying? Thank God I'm not the final say so on things. You know what I'm saying? Because it's up to me. You can never come back. You know what I mean? But hey, according to but you know what I mean? Let me tell you something. The Lord saying that you can return away from your wicked ways. Keep on reading.
Come, sir. Verse 11. To what purpose is the multitude of your sacrifices unto me, saith the Lord? I am full of the burnt offerings of rams and the fat of fed beasts, and I delight not in the blood of bullocks, or of lambs, or of he goats.
Right. Why y'all sacrificing? That's what it is. Christianity, people in Christianity, they go out, they use Lord, Jesus. They doing that. They going to church on Sunday. They going to church on Wednesday. They had the doggone Bible study. They had the choir practice. They got all these sacrifices or whatnot. The Lord said, "What is the point of it?
Yeah.
What's the point?" Keep on reading.
Come, sir. Verse 12. When ye come to appear before me, who has required this at your hand to tread my courts?
The Lord said, "Who told y'all to do that? Who told y'all to do all that, man? Y'all doing all this religious stuff or whatever, but y'all not taking the time to find the truth and in spirit. Who told y'all to get to go through all these sacrifices? Who told y'all to put a bumper sticker and wear all these and say a Sunday speech and all that type of stuff? Who told y'all to memorize a Sunday speech and do all these tedious things?"
Right.
The Lord didn't say the Lord didn't set that up. He doesn't require that. Keep on reading.
Come. Verse 13. Bring no more vain oblations.
Don't bring no more vain. That stuff is in vanity. It's in vanity what you're doing. You're doing it for nothing.
That's right.
You gotta follow the law, man. Keep on reading.
Come. Incense is an abomination unto me. The new moons and Sabbaths, the calling of assemblies, I cannot away with. It is iniquity, even the solemn meeting.
Right. And basically the Lord is saying because of your traditions, y'all just going through with the process, but we have no truth and spirit in him. You know what I mean? We going through the same old traditions because it ain't nothing but a religion. It ain't nothing but religion to us. But as far as following the law of the Lord, we fall. Our heart is far away from him. Yeah. Keep on reading.
Come. Verse 14. Your new moons and your appointed feasts, my soul hateth. They are a trouble unto me. I am weary to bear them.
Right, and now, what are those? Because look, we knew we were the Israelites at that time. We knew who we were at that time, and we was treating the truth. We were treating the law, statute, commandments, and the Sabbath days, and the feast days, and everything. That was just like we doing Christianity to this day. It was nothing but traditions, but we weren't following the Lord. Our heart was away from the Lord. You know what I mean? We were going through with the process, but we weren't doing nothing what the Lord said do, and He don't accept that. Finish it off at verse 15.
Come, sir. Verse 15. And when ye spread forth your hands, I will hide mine eyes from you.
Right. When you fall on your face, and I pray every morning. I pray. I never cease to pray. I never cease to pray. But you talking about the law done away with. The Lord say he'll hide his eyes away from you. He don't care nothing about your praying. That's right. He don't care nothing about your doggone speaking in tongues. And doggone, you can doggone spend the next 48 hours doggone in intercessory prayer. And the Lord say he don't give a damn about that. Come. If you ain't coming to him in spirit and truth.
That's right.
Keep on reading.
Come, sir. Yes, when ye make many prayers, I will not hear.
You would not what?
I will not hear.
When you make many what?
When you make many prayers, I will not hear.
Because of what?
Your hands are full of blood.
Right. We wanted to bring it out. We gotta bring it out, man. Don't get it twisted. And we gotta teach our loved ones over and over and over again that this is the truth. You gotta follow that law, man. For real. We gotta follow that law. Leviticus 20:13. A man it speaks against homosexuality. It states that in Leviticus 20:13. That's the law. But a Christian will tell you that if it's not in the New Testament, then it don't apply. But pick me up in Matthew 5 and 19.
Come, sir.
Cause we gotta get that. We gotta crush them on that, man. Because they so arrogant and thinking in their ways and been lied to from these pastors You know what I mean? It's not even really their fault, but the Lord still gonna your ignorance of the law does not save you,
Right.
whether you knew it or not. You know what I mean? You can have in Georgia, if you ain't got a felony, you can carry a gun without a license. But if you go to North Carolina, you go to another state in Florida, and you didn't know, and they don't have that same law, and you didn't know that, and you get pulled over and found that, you catching a gun charge. Your ignorance of the law is they don't care anything about that. You're gonna get a judgment on you. You know what I mean? That's why we're in slavery right now. That's why we in oppressed right now. Because of that. So they always talk about the law is done away with. This Wednesday night law class. Let's go to the words of red. Yahweh Shah Christ, what he's saying. Go ahead, bring that out.
Come on, sir. The book of Matthew, chapter 5 and verse 15.
Salakia, hold on. Start at 17.
Come, sir. Verse 17. Think not that I am come to destroy the law or the prophets. I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill.
He did not come to, the Lord said he didn't come to destroy the law or the prophets. He came to fulfill the law. Fulfill, the word fulfill does not mean the done away with.
Right.
That means that in what we call the Old Testament, they had prophecies. The Bible is full of prophecies. They spoke of Christ, the man, the Savior of Israel, coming one day. There's going to be that perfect, unspotted lamb. When Christ came, he fulfilled that. But keep on reading, just in case somebody want to do want to trick you up.
Come on, sir. Verse 18. For verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass, one jot or one tittle shall in no wise pass from the law, till all be fulfilled.
Right. Look up in the sky. The heavens are there. Look down at your toes. You're still on. You're still 10 toes down, or however many toes you got on this earth. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Heaven and earth, aka heaven and earth, is still here. So not one jot, not one tittle, not even the smallest matter of the law to the heaviest matter of the law is going to be ever done away with until heaven and earth is passed. What I mean, I'm saying, so what's the problem? Like what we talking about? Christ said that. That's in the Old Testament, New Testament, they all the same. It's all the same. Keep on reading.
Come, verse 19. Whosoever therefore shall break one of these least commandments and shall teach men so, he shall be called the least in the kingdom of heaven.
Right. Now we're talking about dudes who breaking the commandments. Men and women who breaking the commandments. It's judgments on that. Right. So how y'all talking about the law is done away with, man? Quit the lead that church immediately. Choose ye this day, man. Keep on reading.
Come. But whosoever shall do and teach them, the same shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven.
Shall be called what?
The same shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven.
The ISUPK been right the whole time, man. Right. And you know what I mean? And you gotta humble yourself, man. You know what I mean? What you grew up in, what you were born in your family, 99.9% of the time is a farce and a lie. Yeah. And you gotta humble yourself, man. We all had to do it. You know what I mean? With Big Mama and them level, you thought was what was the most faithful woman, your daddy, your mama and daddy, you thought were very faithful people. You seen them praying all the time. They also were taught a lie and they passed the lie down. Yeah. But you can't go past these words. Read verse 20.
Come, sir. Verse 20. For I say unto you that except your righteousness exceed the righteousness of the scribes and Pharisees, ye shall in no case enter into the kingdom of heaven.
Oh man, hold on. Say that you can. What did it say about entering the kingdom of heaven?
Come. Except your righteousness exceed the scribes and Pharisees, ye shall in no case enter into the kingdom of heaven.
Right, and you can't even get in. And now let me ask y'all that. Y'all already know. Now in Christianity, they always go in on Pharisees and the Sadducees and the scribes or whatever. But one thing about those guys and what Christ always say, listen to what they say, don't do as they do.
Right.
Now, one thing we know about the scribes and Pharisees, they know that law. They pushed in that law. So if your righteousness don't exceed that, you can't even get into the kingdom of heaven. So let me get this straight. You grew up your church, you talking about the law is done away with, and and that's what you choose, that's what you believe in, and that's what you pushing down to your kids and on and so forth and so forth. How you can't even come close to the scribes and Pharisees, because at least they know the law is for real. At least they know the law was not done away with. They pushing the law. The problem with them is that they're hypocrites of the law. But you can't even see their righteousness if you don't even know what the law is, or you refuse to even know what is the law. You know what I mean? How could you do it? It's impossible. You got to come back to the law, statute, commandments. You know what I mean? I'm Officer Baraka Allah. You know what I mean? That we teach teaching this Wednesday night law class to teach our people and to bring them back until their moral code. To come out there, leave their wicked ways, even they even think they was wicked. You know what I mean? So you can have getting the graces to the Most High can hear your prayers. So the Most High can protect your family.
Right.
You know what I mean? Just because you don't got $1 million in the bank, don't mean the Most High is not watching over you.
Right.
You know what I mean? Don't mean he's not watching over your kids and keeping you from tragedies or whatnot. That doesn't mean that. You know what I mean? Because you don't want, when them judgments start to rain down, they rain down. So what you need to do, whether you like and understand or not, how we bringing it out or not, if you're a so-called Black, Hispanic, or Native American man or woman, you must come back into the law.
Right.
The law is absolutely not done away with.
That's right.
At all. And you need to be tapping in every Wednesday, every day, and get this truth.
Right.
With that, I'm going to pass the class over to Officer Cassiad.
Excellent class.
Come.
Let's give that brother one more hand. Now, these are the ISUPK security announcements. We are the ISUPK, start out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under commanding Junior Hana. Rule for new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are here to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to the brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment, Numbers 18 and 21, Malachi 3, 8 to 10, means 10th in the Hebrew, ma'ashra. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the Treasury Department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering to the priest, not mandatory, whatsoever amount you would like to give. The next upcoming holy convocation will be the Feast of Tabernacles. Make sure that when you come into the school that you look to the bulletin board, and that'll let you know when all our feast days are. Remind all the Akim and Akwathim, as I said, to look at the bulletin board to get all the information that you need. If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, to start wearing all black boots, shirts, pants, headband, and scarf, and to Google the address every time you're headed to the school to boost up that algorithm. With that, we're going to give the teacher one courtesy salute. Men of Israel, Amajah, Mabim Shabbat, Barak, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua Barakatah.
Yahweh Hashem Yahushua Barakatah.
And what I just said was, may the Most High bless you in the name of Christ. Yazmatah, hands down, which means class dismissed. I'm born, I want to be all our with type 2 diabetes.
Commanding General Yohana will be doing the opening of the Feast of Tabernacles in King James Castle. Finally, the truth about King James, a black man who helped to preserve and safeguard the Bible. Live September 29th, 2023, Commanding General Yohana, live at King James Castle in Scotland. Come on down and support the ISUPK UK. Lift the glass, come and join the brotherhood and drink with the ancient as we celebrate and keep the Feast of Tabernacles for our King Yahweh in King James Castle, bringing his crew of heavy hitters. Commanding General Yohana will put 12 shield General Muhammad scripture breakdown class up against anyone, against any biblical scholar, unchallenged. ISUPK undefeated. Leviticus chapter 23, the Feast of Tabernacles in a black man's castle, hosted in Scotland, the United Kingdom, UK. Commanding General Yohana will be doing the opening of the Feast of Tabernacles in King James Castle, Thursday, September 28th, scripture breakdown class. Friday, September 29th, there will be a King James Castle tour, also a Johnny Walker Distillery tour, and Friday night, the opening of the Feast of Tabernacles. Saturday, September 30th, we will have camp on the streets of England. Sunday, October 1st, the UK Cookout. Monday, October 2nd, the Warwickshire Castle Tour. ISUPK under Commanding General Yohana at King James Castle in England. This is an absolutely monumental, historical event.
That's the stop. Man, don't we deserve a shot? Don't we deserve a shot to be the Lord's people? Israel, let's do it!
I got you.
For so long you've been sighing and crying, begging for justice, and here the Lord is bringing you justice right here to your streets.
City